Well, first of all, congratulations on having baby number 2 on the way. I am so happy for you. Now, pregnancy is tricky when it comes to taking herbs. The problem here is that all these herbs that I'm so passionate about, I know you really enjoy as well, that we love talking about all the time, have not been safety tested for pregnancy and breastfeeding. They don't tend to do those kinds of studies on, relatively obscure things like this. So for reasons of safety, for reasons of liability, and just for erring on the side of caution, we don't recommend taking these things during pregnancy. Even in the situation of certain herbs, perhaps like reishi and astragalus, that have thousands of years of historical use during pregnancy, the studies are not there in the modern world to be able to really understand in depth what effect these might be having. So this is such a sensitive time, we feel it's best to err on the side of caution and save these for later on. Now, that doesn't mean there's not anything else that you can do to optimize health of a pregnant mother. So you really want to start here by going back to the basic foundations of health. And the first thing to think about here is getting sunlight. Get a good amount of sunlight every day. We're coming into the summer here in the northern hemisphere, and I would encourage you to make the most of it. Download the D-Minder app on your phone, and that way you can track how much vitamin D you're making when you go out in the sun, and your wife can get it on her phone and understand how much she's making. And it's a great gamification of getting vitamin D. And vitamin D is so important for a developing baby, and actually can help radically improve that baby's health later on in life. It was found that if a mother had adequate levels of vitamin D, the kids later on in life are much less likely to have chronic inflammatory issues like eczema and psoriasis. For this same reason, it's a great idea to supplement with a good D3K2 supplement, because you may not be necessarily getting enough just by being out there in the sun. But it is great either way to get your blood tested and see, are you somewhere around the 60 to 70 range on vitamin D, or are you down in the 30s and maybe could use a little extra help there. But getting out in the sun, it's about more than just vitamin D. You do actually have effects on the eyes and the brain just from being out there in that sunlight, and it helps to regulate your circadian rhythms. So this is going to help with the other element of this, which is sleep. Now, I'm sure you're needing extra sleep during this time. You got a lot going on inside. And so, first of all, take naps during the day as you feel inspired to. But also at nighttime, you want to really optimize that sleep that you're getting and make sure it's of the absolute best quality. First step to this is get plenty of sunlight during the day, but then as the sun goes down, avoid light. Dim the lights in the house. If you have to be on devices, try to avoid them if you can. But if you have to be on devices, use like if you're on Apple devices, for example, you can use the night shift setting and turn that up to maximum strength to try to block as much of that blue light as possible, because blue light suppresses melatonin production. It's fine during the day, no big deal, because you don't want melatonin during the day. You want to feel awake, but at night you want to allow drowsiness to come on. And if you're suppressing melatonin production, it's going to make it much harder to fall asleep and to stay asleep. And so in addition to that, it's a great idea to have some blue blocking glasses. Now, you don't want the orange or the yellow ones at night. You want to go all out here and get the red ones that completely block out all blue light. And this will get you into a much nicer night of sleep. Now, of course, having a prenatal is a really good idea. For example, from Thorne, and you want to watch out. Make sure that your prenatal does not have folic acid, but instead uses either folate or 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate, which are much more easily used by the body and don't have the possibility of toxic accumulation. And then in addition to that, magnesium is another great supplement that you can have during pregnancy. And magnesium is going to help you relax at night and sleep better. So it's nice in that department. But also magnesium really supports ATP production in the mitochondria. So it's helping every cell in your body make more energy. So that is going to be really great in its own way. And then having fish, krill, or algae oil for the long chain omega-3s, again, supporting mitochondria, giving you some good clean burning fat as fuel, and then also so powerful for the developing nervous system of the baby. So pulling all of these things together, and with a little extra love and support from Mr. Husband here, I think you can find yourself feeling a bit better. But ultimately, allow yourself the time to rest. If you feel that you need that, your body knows what's best. You can do these things, certainly to optimize your state of health, but if you're doing those and you still feel tired, that's okay. That's the body telling you that it has so much going on inside that it needs to devote resources to that and not to you running around and doing things. So just in the end, best thing to do is listen to your body.